to another stream. Starting off just on a real little bit of unfortunate bad news, but just to let you know, one of my volume faders on my RX, not the actual panel itself, just the little plastic covering, you would obviously you put your hand on to pull it up and down, give way, and the other one is also on its way out, so I'll be replacing the faders at some point, which should be quite a simple job. You can just buy these online, but you can get them in different colors, so I might treat myself and maybe go for some different colors, maybe like a red or like a yellow or something, or maybe like a blue. We'll see. I might even maybe get like some like maybe a skin for it or something at some point, all kind of depending. But anyway, welcome back to another stream. We are doing another weekend antics. So this weekend has been a very, very weird weekend because it's that kind of in between Christmas and New Year. So we're going to kind of do sort of from Christmas, and then we're just going to kind of go to now. So Christmas was obviously on Wednesday, and that kind of really threw me off because we had a rave on Boxing Day. We had an event on Boxing Day, and because we went to an event on Boxing Day, which was a Thursday, and we had a usual late night, and we got in the early hours. It was kind of like it really kind of threw me off. It really made the Thursday feel like a Saturday, and then at the Friday kind of felt like a Sunday because I lounged around. I didn't really do anything because I was I was tired from having the late night, so it felt like the typical Sunday, which Sunday is actually today. So Friday was, I didn't really do anything other than lounged in bed most of the day, sat watching telly in bed, and just kind of doing the usual in bed. And then basically decided that I would link my friend Lehman a little bit later on, but didn't really do anything, and it really did kind of feel like a Sunday. So we'll get on to the actual Saturday because that's when the magic obviously really happens, and that's when things really piped up a little bit. As you can obviously, if you've read the title of the stream, then you'll we're going to get on to kind of why I put as the title of the stream. So a couple of days ago, I kept seeing this flyer going around on Facebook. Big shout to everybody locking in, by the way. There's a whole 20 of you that have come to hear the story of my weekend antics. I'm sure there is probably some trolls in here, people that probably don't care what I've got to say and just want to leave some stupid comments, but you're here, you're giving me a view, so I appreciate that. So I was seeing this poster going around on Facebook for a couple of days, and it was basically Ultra Beat Ian Redman from Clubland. Did Pretty Green Eyes, did Sure Feels Good, did all them great hits, Feeling Fine, absolutely massive DJ, and MC Cobra, which is one of the members from the Blackout Crew from back in the day, and obviously the Blackout Crew have reformed, and it said that they were coming to a venue called Pink Parrot, and I kept seeing this poster, and then it clicked on. This Pink Parrot is a venue in Hull. And I realised, actually, oh my God, it's the Pink Parrot in Hull. And then there was two warm-up DJs playing. And then I realised that I knew one of the warm-up DJs. So basically, let me just get rid of the troll comment. I said we'd get some. This user will be hid from the channel. So there we go. So I knew one of the warm-up DJs. So I was tempted to go and check out this event. I was in my mind, I was thinking, I'd like to go to this because, for one, we've got a Clubland legend coming to Hull, which, you don't see that very often. And I feel like we've been very blessed with this over Christmas with Friday Night Posse coming to Bar Babylon around the corner, and then about a week later you've got Ultra Beat coming to Pink Parrot, which is just around the corner. So it was really kind of like, I felt kind of blessed, because this is kind of the music that I like, the bounce and the clubland. It's what I'm really DJing a lot at the moment, and I feel like we get a lot of house nights, we get a lot of techno nights. People are trying to push the techno movement, and you can't beat the old classic clublands, the clubland CDs, the one that I actually have right here. You cannot beat this brand, and when we get some of the people that were behind some of these tracks that are featured on this album and many other albums, this is this is what Hull needs. I'm from Hull. So this is what Hull needs. I was tempted to go down, and then it got to Saturday, which was the day, and I was still tempted to go down, but the flyer didn't, for some reason, display like what time it started. So I don't really think there was an official start time. I think the event just started when the venue opened, which it didn't really say when the venue opened, but the venue just kind of it opens like quite early on, I think, and it just goes through to the early hours. It's not your typical, normally what you would call like a rave nightclub. It's the place where you'd normally go in and there'd be a party DJ, and he'd play bits of all sorts, and he'd take you through, and he'd go through R&B, and then he'd go into a bit of house and a bit of dance, and then he'd play a couple of clubland tracks, and then he'd go back to maybe like a hip hop track, or back to like a commercial R&B track, and then he'll play some recent chart tunes and some remixes. And he'll be on his little controller. He won't be on like anything like CDJs. He'll be on his little controller, and he'll be going on the mic, and he'll be announcing drink offers at the bar. Get your shots. So it typically strikes me as that kind of venue. But they decided to put this club classics night on, where they'd put like Ultra Beat headlining. So I just thought that was really cool. So I decided that I wanted to go and check this night out. So I tried to find out sort of when does it open, when does the actual official event start, and then I just got told what time Ultra Beat was coming on, which I thought, all right, that's fair enough, but I meant the night itself. So anyway, I decided to pop down, and for whatever reason, I was at home, I was getting ready, and I was ooming and ahhing. Now I don't normally do this because I'm not a beggar, so I don't go like to events, and I don't go begging to play, and I don't go begging to hoping to get on or anything like that. But sometimes it's good to prepare as a DJ. Sometimes it is good to prepare. So I was debating whether to take my headphones and whether to take my USB stick. And basically, I was unsure because I don't normally do it. Like sometimes if I'm traveling to an event with the layman, I bring headphones and USB sticks, and then I leave them in the car. And then, like, if they needed a DJ, I've got them in the car. But then I'm not walking around a venue with USBs and headphones looking like I'm desperate to play, because that's not the kind of person I am. It's not the vibe. I understand it's somebody else's event. They've got people booked there playing. However, I do understand that you can sometimes become a little bit of a hero if something messes up on a night, and then you can fill in kind of as a DJ. So I decided in the end that, I'm just going to stick a couple of USB sticks in my wallet and put a pair of headphones in my pocket. And so I didn't really look like I've come with a bag or I'm expecting to play. But it's just there, if anything happened and and they needed somebody to jump on, or and anyway, one of the warm up DJs knows me and I know him, so I decided that I'd do that. But I just went as a normal raver, paid me entrance ticket, just went down to support the night, and then the guy who knows me, he said, did I want to go up and have a spin? And started telling the other DJ that was DJing with him, and like some of the staff in the venue, like that I'm a DJ, and for whatever reason told them that I was really good, and that I'm absolutely sick on the decks. And this got like the venue intrigued. They were kind of like, who is this guy? Is he really as good as that? As this, as one of our DJs is saying he is. And then the other DJ was like, who is this person? What's he all about on the decks? So they brought me up onto the decks to do a couple of mixes. And I think they were just kind of intrigued to see what I'd do in the environment, what I'd be like on the decks, and just essentially how I would, react, essentially. So the setup behind the thingy, so there was a controller that was connected to a laptop. No, thank you. And then there was a pair of CDJ 3000s, and there was a 4-channel mixer. So one of the channels on this 4-channel mixer was going to the controller and the laptop, basically. And then the two 3000s would control two other channels on the mixer. So I came behind the booth, and I saw, and then I was like, 3000s. I am having a little go on a little controller, although I could go on a little controller. I'm not going to do it. I had my USB sticks, so I whipped them out, and then he was like, you've got USB sticks with you, which I think already kind of like impressed him a little bit. Inserted them in. Everything was all analysed properly, so it showed all the waveforms, which again, I think that kind of maybe sort of impressed them as well. And then just the fact that I just went on the equipment and I kind of knew what to do in terms of, what to press and stuff like that. I think that also kind of impressed them, because, what you've got to understand is they've never seen me before. So the venue owner doesn't have a Scooby-Doo who I am. The other DJ doesn't know who I am. The bar staff, one of the DJ's missus doesn't know who I am. So to just rock up and kind of know what I'm doing on the equipment to them is obviously a little bit like mind-blowing, especially when, they've just seen me come in and have a little dance in the crowd and stuff like that. And that would be absolutely, all they've seen. So to then see me kind of go up behind the equipment and just kind of plug my sticks in and know what I'm doing would have blown them away. And then I faded the other DJ's tracks out, who was playing on the little controller, and went in and played a couple of tracks. I think I played about 3 or 4 tracks at the most. So I played... So I started off with Cheese and Pitch Invaders, Your Life. It's a bounce track, which I know, like, just going straight into a bounce track is quite, it can be quite controversial. I can't even say the word. But it can be quite, like, you never know how it's going to go down, controversial, however you say it, because you're in a venue where, they're not just going to, like, what the hell was that? You're in a venue where they're not just going to like full on donk. So I had to be a little bit, I had to be wary. I had to kind of think about it. The Cheese and Pitch Invader track, it goes into like a little bit of an organ drop. So it's a little bit more commercially than just going into kind of like like a heavy donk tune. And then the second track, I went into a Booty Callers remix of CeeLo Green, Forget You, which was like a hands up kind of clubland sort of styled remix. And then I went into a donk track, which was Benjamin's remix of the Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. And basically after that track, I think I can't remember what I went into after that, but I think that was I think that was my final. Oh, I went into my remix of Alejandro. That was it. And that was my final track. You know, it was just, I was more just doing a little showcase, to be honest. They wanted to see what I was like. It wasn't, you know, jumping on and doing a full set. It was just going behind the decks, showcasing a couple of tracks. And then, you know, it was back over to the other DJs. And it was a, you know, it was mind blowing. The crowd seemed to love it. They loved my energy. I just got on there and I'm dancing around, and you know, it's mad. Like, I don't like to big myself up as a DJ, or like, you know, try to sound a little bit big headed, but you know, I'm nudging the jog wheel a couple of times, and I'm pretty much in beat. And I think that was kind of, you know, I'm nudging it a couple of times, and then I'm teasing the next track. I'm, oh, you know, up and down on the faders, kind of teasing the you know, the next track, and then I'm doing kind of like back spins and stuff like that, and I'm really just you know, giving it my all, really, just really giving it full energy. You know, I didn't want to go in and just play something like really heavy, that was just going to completely, like, you know, kill the vibe of what's going on in the club and clear the dance floor. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of show them what I do. They'd put on a clubland night. This is, you know, when I do a clubland set, this is kind of what I like to play. This is kind of what I like to do. You know, if I could go back now, there's a couple of tracks that I would have liked to have played instead. Just pure personally, out of the fact of, like, you know, I think they would have gone down even better than the ones I played. But it was a little showcase, and I think I did. You know, I think I did as good as I could. But one of the tracks that I wish I'd have played was Critical Mass's remix of Venga Boys Boom Boom Boom, because Venga Boys always goes off. People always sing to it. People can sit there and say, you know, how cheesy it is. People can, you know, people can say how cheesy it is. But at the end of the day, it gets people on the dance floor. It gets people singing, and that works for me. And that you know, allows me to have a better set because I'm getting more of a reaction. So I would have played that. And then when the guy told me that, you know, like, we're gonna play, you know, all right, you know, last one, I would have gone in with the Living on a Prayer, just because, again, people would have sang it, and it would have been absolutely, you know, it would have been absolutely amazing to kind of see people sing it. But anyway, it went down a treat. It went down really, really well. I was really happy with how it went. It was absolutely fantastic. I had such an amazing time. You know, and I'm very grateful that I got the opportunity to go on the decks. It was something that, for me, it was amazing. It was like a dream come true that I'd been given this opportunity to go on the decks, and I'd been given this opportunity to you know, to do what I do, and to see what I see, and you know, and I'm just glad that I got to show them. So I was really, really happy about that. So play bootlegs, surprise people. I play a lot of bootlegs in my sets. You know, bootlegs is a big one for me. You know, I play like Clubland. So Clubland, you play all the Clubland classics like your Pretty Green Eyes and you Set You Free. Although, like, if there's a headliner on, like, say for example, like, I knew Ultra Beat was playing there last night, so I didn't touch like an Ultra Beat track because I knew he was gonna play it. You know, so I leave all of that stuff to him. Whereas, you know, with playing a clubland set, you can get away with playing like remixes of Venga Boys, and you can play stuff like I Want to Dance with Somebody, and you can play stuff like Heaven is a Place on Earth. You know, you can get away with playing all of them kind of stuff, which is really good. You know, and it works. So I do that when I play a lot of sets. Really good. God bless you and your family. I wish you the best in life. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Big ups to you, Chase. Absolutely spot on. Unfortunately, family life is not the best at the moment. My nan is very unwell. Really unwell at the moment. She's basically bedridden, and she hasn't, you know, it's just a matter of time, really, unfortunately. And it's hitting me quite hard. I'm not gonna lie, because my nan and granddad were, let's just say, they kind of they were a lot more like parents as opposed to grandparents. Now, this is not me having any form of dig or any form of argument with my actual parents, but when I was growing up, my parents were they were party animals. They liked going out a lot on a weekend. They liked having a few drinks. They liked going to nightclubs. They liked going raving. Hence why I so into all the rave music now. But during my life and growing up, I spent a lot of time at my grandparents. My mum doesn't speak to her mum and dad, so, but my dad is very close to his mum and dad. So I spent a lot of time with them. So if they were going out night clubbing, I would, I'd stay over at my grandparents. And then like in the school holidays, because my dad would work all day. And my mum also worked in a petrol station as well. I'd go to my nan's a lot. So I was kind of always at my nan's, and every morning before school I'd go there for breakfast, and every night after school I'd go to my nan's after school. So even though I wasn't living there, I almost kind of felt like I did live there. And then I did actually live there for a good 7 years. So they really have been like family, more like parents than just grandparents, and I always saw them as more than grandparents. Which obviously, so yeah, it's a little bit, she was a well, she's an absolutely amazing grandmother, and like when you want things like for your kid to be like extra exciting and fun, and you want them to have a really good childhood, like you really want your kid to believe in Father Christmas, and she would go the extra mile to make Christmas like just really fun, in terms of like really decorating the house, and in terms of just really making it fun for me. And again, in like the summer holidays, there would always be things planned. We'd always be having a fun summer holidays, whether we'd be having like trips to the seaside, or one that I very remember is I lived in a town called Driffield, which is about 11 miles away from Bridlington. And every year in summer they run a trip called the Driffield trip, and basically they send off a load of buses that you can ride on for free. And they take you to the coast, and you have this day out at the coast. And we used to go on it every year without fail, and we used to bring cousins and friends, and we all used to go, and we used to hire this little chalet. You'd hire this little chalet at Brid, and it was like a little hut just near the beach, and you could just hire it for the day, and you could store stuff in it, and you could take like a kettle and stuff, and you could make drinks there, and you can make like very basic bits of food there if you wanted to. And we used to fill it with like snacks, like packets of crisps, and my nan would take a kettle to have hot drinks, and then we'd have like my aunties and all my cousins, and then we'd all play on the beach. So yeah, really cool childhood. So obviously it's a little bit gutting now that she's sadly unwell, but I'm trying to remain as positive as possible. I understand that. Really special to you. For her, a beautiful, you're a good person. I'm proud of you. Oh, thank you, Chase. Yeah, she's definitely cool, Paul, man. New subscriber. Thank you for subbing. So anyway, going back to the matter at hand. So I think the venue was quite impressed with what I did. Jumping on, spinning a couple of tracks and stuff. So whether they have me back in the new year, that'll be another story. But that was a shed load of fun. And then today, I've actually been to visit the grandparents. I went over this afternoon and stayed with them, and and all of that stuff. And then I've literally just come back this evening. So yeah, it's been a weird weekend, but it's been a good weekend. I really like how it's been, and how it's gone, and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, so New Year's Eve, We are at the moment we are in Grimsby. We're playing at New Year's Eve at Grimsby. Now, the only reason why I'm saying at the moment is because we've actually been issued a bad weather warning for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We're supposed to be getting some wind, and we're supposed to be getting snow. Now, us getting snow is a very, very unlikely thing. However, when we do get yellow snow warnings, we do actually sometimes tend to get a little bit of snow. Even, we never normally get like a proper covering of snow, but we normally do get like, we have a bit of snow overnight. However, we will more than likely get wind. And to go to Grimsby, we have to cross the Humber Bridge. Now, if the wind is too heavy, they will close the bridge, so you can't cross the bridge. Now, you can go around. There is a way to drive around. It does take you a lot longer to get around by going that way, because you have to go all the way to the M62, then you have to go all the way to the M18, and then you have to come back onto the M180, which basically takes you to which basically gets you. It basically gets you to the other side of the bridge, but it just takes you probably about 40 minutes just to get round to the other side of the bridge, whereas you can cross the bridge in about 3 minutes. So it all depends on the weather. Hopefully they don't close the bridge, and if they don't close the bridge, then we'll be going as normal. If they do close the bridge, we will make a decision, probably me and my friend, because we're doing the gig together. He's photographing as well, so whether he wants to drive round or not, which I can't really see he's going to want to do all that extra driving, we'll have to see. But at the moment, we are going. We're performing there, and unless the weather stops us, we will not be doing anything. We'll be going. We'll be going basically. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be playing my first set of 2025. Which is good. Go early. Yeah, I could go early, but the thing is, like, if they close the bridge, they close the bridge, and they're not going to close it at night. They're not just going to close it at night. It'll be closed during the day if it's like really windy during the day. And the thing is like, even if it was open and we crossed it and then it turned out it was closed, like, we'd have to go all the way around the long way to go back home, which we'd have to do it because we're already at that end. But it wouldn't be necessarily feasible. And it would take a lot of time, and it wouldn't be the best situation personally. So we would kind of have to see what happens. Going early, I mean, we're gonna go quite early anyway, because my friend's doing the photography for the whole night. That's kind of part of what he does. But we'll just see what happens. I mean, at the moment, everything is just fine at the moment. Other than we've got this warning, and we won't really know until kind of like tomorrow, I suppose, coming into New Year's Eve, the following day, really, what the weather's going to do. But all I know is there is a warning. We're supposed to get snow. We're supposed to get wind. I think it'll probably more than likely be wind, but we might get like a little bit of snow overnight. And it will probably be more like up on the mountains. And up in like the countryside, where you'll probably get more snow. We're in a city, so we don't always get it as bad as like you would get it in the countryside on some of the farms and some of the country roads and some of the hilly places seem to get it more. Whereas like like the Yorkshire, the Yorkshire moors and that kind of yeah. So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to cut this stream. So make sure to like, comment, share, and we'll see you soon.